Today I'm just going to show you a super fun and easy way to make unique marks. Hi everybody, it's Kelly from Collage-Lab, and I've got some mixed media March minis for you. I'm using a simple pipe cleaner and some ink on book pages. And I'll tell you what I like about this technique, and I will show you a bunch that I just made without the camera running, because that's always a risk. So isn't that fun? I'll just show you these. They're all over the studio drying right now. And so this is a previously painted piece of paper that I decided to liven up a bit. And so this techniques are really easy. Just take a pipe cleaner. You can find them usually in the kids' craft section. They're called chenille stems, but for the old timers, they were pipe cleaners, and they were actually used to clean pipes. I'm using a variety of inks. This is acrylic ink from Liquitex. These are Bombay ink, Dr. P.H. Martin. That is an India ink. So these are all permanent inks. If you only have one kind of ink, Black India ink is probably your go-to. So those will all work well. And the idea is that we have very little control over the end of this little wire, right? So it's a wire, it's covered with fuzzy chenille, and so when we dip it into the ink, it gathers a lot of ink, but we have very little control. And I first discovered this just creating broad, sweeping kinds of motions on a large canvas. And I was like, oh, that is so cool, because you have very little control. Obviously, if you get closer to, hold it closer to the end, you've got more control. But if you hold it out, at the far end, it's going to go where it wants to go. You give it a general direction, but the ink is going to go where it wants to go. And that's always kind of fun. And then another thing I like to do is bend the pipe cleaner in half and dip both ends into the ink, separate them, and then as I put it down, I let them come together, move apart, and just kind of do their own thing. If you're looking for a way to be a little freer and open in your art, this is the thing, because there's very little control of where the ends of the pipe cleaner go. And so that is what I'm showing you today, and I'm just gonna do several book pages and just kind of going all over the place. I really can't control it. And so I'm just making some collage papers. I think these will be fun when I cut them up. The other thing we can do is we can dip one end in one color and the other end in another color, and just put them down at the same time. Just really free and easy kinds of marks. So there's that one. And we can also go in here and try to do some asemic writing, which it's really hard to to control this end. And so what you end up with is very abstract shapes. It's going to go where it wants to go, which is, it's really freeing. And so I encourage you to give it a try. Even if you don't love that, cut that up. It's going to be fabulous collage papers. So let's, I've got just book pages. This is a black and white image. It's just really freeing to let the pipe cleaner do its own thing, as much as or as little as you want. A little bit lighter touch, we get these thinner lines. And then we can also go in and we can mix it up. I've got several here that have ink on them already. And so I'm just gonna add some color. It's a much freer kind of movement than if we were putting this down with a brush, don't you think? So I kind of like that. So that's it. I'm going to let these dry, and I will put together today's mixed media March mini collage. So here are some of the wonderful papers that I made, and I'm going to use some of them as collage papers as I create a little mini collage on this index card divider. So I think what I might do is create a bit of a grid. I'm just eyeballing this as I cut out some squares. Almost like putting a jigsaw puzzle together with the way all these lines intersect or don't. I think it'll be kind of a fun background. Definitely colorful. See what I've got so far here. Something like that. So I'm just going to eyeball it, glue those down, and see if I can find a good focal image to go with my bright, colorful background here. I'm going to have the pieces and lines overlap. Nothing straight, nothing is measured. Just kind of winging it here today. But I just really like these lines. I think this is going to turn out really fun. And what I was thinking as something to just kind of stand out from these squares and these lines, and something just a little goofy, I've got a book with old dolls, like a catalog of old dolls. And so I've cut some of their heads out of circles. And stay with me here. I think this is just going to be a little funky addition, not drawing attention away from the lines and the colors, but just kind of giving it a little added surprise. So there we have it. Today's mixed media March mini using pipe cleaners and ink.